All right, let's do this thing. This is one of those. One of those random live streams where there's a story that I need to talk about, and I don't have time to do the whole setup because I have to go buy a car. So, yeah, this is. I'm just going to start talking, and I would imagine that I'll have to do a little bit of redundancy later on. I've got about 20 minutes that I can talk about this, but here's the deal: Floyd Mayweather apparently has not paid Logan Paul. So that fight was many months ago. It was June 6th. I mean, the idea that he shouldn't have been paid by now is beyond, like, there's no normal, like, reason he shouldn't have been paid by now, unless you've got a problem with the finances. And I'm going to pull up this article right here, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what I think is going on here. Because, as usual, if we're talking about the business, the fight business, I have a pretty educated opinion here. So, MMA news. There might have not been an official winner in the Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather bout this year, but Paul claims he's the financial loser. Paul and Mayweather went the full 8 rounds, with both having their moments in the ring. The bout wasn't officially sanctioned due to the large size, yada, yada, yada. Paul and Mayweather had quite the heated buildup, blah, blah, mutual respect, blah, blah, blah. But now Logan Paul said, pay me my money, you fucking cornball of a human. The Paul versus Mayweather exhibition was a massive pay-per-view success, with the event topping at least 1 million buys on Showtime. After the fight, Mayweather seemed content on retirement, not making the Paul exhibition into a new chapter of his legendary career. He later claimed after the fight that he earned $100 million for the event. So here's the deal, okay? This I know to be true, that when Mayweather says, I made $100 million for the event, I actually did a video about this. When he says I made $100 million for the event, what he means is the event grossed X amount of dollars. So, like, when he was like, "Oh, we made $400 million for the McGregor fight," he means he made 400. The total gross. Okay, do you guys know what the term merchant of record means? So, like, if you're structuring a deal, like if you're putting a deal together, and you got multiple parties who are going to be in a financial relation, or like a revenue sharing partnership, where each person or each entity is entitled to a certain percentage of the revenue. Okay, the merchant of record is the entity that collects the money and then is responsible for distributing it, right? That's one of the awesome things about these, not to dive off a cliff here, but the NFT business, if you do a deal with someone and you're like, okay, we get 50%, you get 50%, then the way you set up the NFT in the beginning, it's called a smart contract. The money comes in, it automatically gets distributed. And that's awesome because of situations like this, because in many cases, when you've got a merchant of record, which in this case is Floyd Mayweather, they get the money and then you have to haggle with them about getting paid. And then you have to, audit them and make sure that they actually paid what percentage was owed, blah, blah, blah. And most of all, you need to rely on them to pay, right? And so here's the deal, dude. Everyone has, I've never understood how the direction the conversation goes every time I've ever talked about this. And what I'm going to talk about is Floyd Mayweather's finances, okay? Like, people are so ignorant about money, and for whatever reason, it's like, if they think that if there's a certain amount of money that you can make where you could never go broke, like you could never go broke, you could never go broke. It's like, dude, there is, barring becoming like, Bill Gates level, or, if you get into the multiple billions and you don't lose it on some kind of business investment, even then, dude, the great equalizer is gambling. If you have a gambling problem, you can gamble any amount of money away. But, like, if you were going to literally to put a textbook example together of, it doesn't matter how much money you make, if this is how you spend your money, you're going to go broke. Like, you're going to go broke. Floyd would be that example. He owns 100-something cars, dude. Like, that's not, that is a person who is completely out of control of their impulse buying. Like, and impulse buying is done in a coordination with the amount of money that you have. right? His jewelry collection is ludicrous. Okay. So basically, if I'm not being clear about this, I think Floyd has money problems, right? That's what I think. Because you guys got to understand, like, you hear a guy got $100 million and he owes 30 of it. And it's like, oh, well, I mean, why wouldn't he just pay? Still got the 70 million, dude. Not to be, why wouldn't he just pay the 30? And you're like, well, as an example, every time in the last however many fights, whenever they've looked into it, when Floyd goes into the fight that he's in, he owes like $20 million in back taxes. Like the Conor McGregor fight, I think he owed like $24 million in back taxes, 24 million instantly, right? Like, Jesse, it's common knowledge that Floyd has money problems. Go ahead and link me the article that shows that Floyd has money problems. That's 100% not common knowledge. I mean, it's common sense that he will have. How would it be common? How would it be common knowledge that Floyd has money problems? In 2017, okay, 4 years ago, he did the Conor fight. He made like $270 million in that fight. Some like his end. And before, I mean, like, it's not common. It's only common sense. It's only commonly known if you understand that you can make an amount of money like that if you spend money like him. Like, I mean, he might have gotten lucky with his houses because he bought 1 million houses, so like those are probably more valuable. But like to maintain that amount of property, to maintain, like he's got this super yacht that costs like fucking $100 million or some shit. You have any idea how much that costs? Like not just to own it, but like to the maintenance, the staff, and all this stuff. Like his financial is just pissing money constantly. And so if he hasn't paid, Logan Paul, it ain't because he's sitting on a bunch of, liquid cash. Now, he might have a bunch of assets he can sell, but I've been saying this forever, that there is a day where Floyd will have a financial reckoning and people will literally just look and they'll just be like, how is that even possible? They'll start going through his career earnings because that's the problem with filing bankruptcy. It's public. You can't do it. You can't do it quiet. You can't file bankruptcy quiet, dude. It's always public record. So when he does it, everyone will know. And they'll just go, what? Like, what could have happened? Like, how could he have possibly gone bankrupt? And they'll do the articles, forensic auditing of how much money he made, and it'll be like, gee, they'll just look, they'll be like, this guy spent $900 million, whatever, I don't know, 900, whatever. But certainly well over 500, maybe $600-700 million. They're gonna be like, he spent that? How is it even possible? And it'll be like, well, I mean, when rich people file bankruptcy, it's different also because he has so many assets, right? Like, because basically it's going to be like, I can't pay the back taxes that I owe. I can't pay this creditor. I can't pay that. I have a bunch of assets, and they basically come in and they're like, all right, well, we can sell this. But like, anyway. So here's the deal. Like, what should have been obvious, honestly, is you really don't want to be one of the people who is in one of those last events with Floyd Mayweather, where he's going to be the one that has to pay. Now, when he fights Conor McGregor, that's a different ballgame. He's got UFC and Dana in there. He knows he can't stiff them, dude. There's no scenario where he can stiff them. But maybe he's looking over at Logan Paul, kind of like, and he's looking at his money. He's looking at his bank account. He's like, do I really have to pay this motherfucker? Do I really have to pay? And he's he really likes looking at the money in the bank. He doesn't really like, he's thinking of how am I going to make it more, like he'll fight again. I guarantee he'll fight again. But yeah, I mean, like if he's not paying Logan Paul, bet that it's because he's looking at a liquidity problem, I mean, like when they've gone through, if you're I don't know, if you're a person who like has a little bit of like I don't even know how to describe it, like where spending you don't really like I have to go buy a car today. I have to do it. I don't want to do it at all. I do not want to do it. I don't want to buy a car. I don't want to do it. But I have to do it because I need the tax write-off and I need a car. So it took me, like, I've been looking at cars for 6 months. It's December 30th. I have no choice. I have to do it today. And I don't want to do it. I would rather look at the money on a screen than spend it. And I'm sitting here like, man, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what I'm going to owe in taxes. Like, so when I watch, like, and I'm just talking about like my psychological approach towards money. And like, when I look at Floyd Mayweather, I'm like, this isn't, it's insane to me. Like I watch it, it's all the luxurious lifestyle of Floyd Mayweather. I watch those, it's like a fucking horror movie to me. Like it literally, like it looks like a fucking horror movie. It's like he always got two planes. Of course he has two planes. Why not? Why would he not have two planes? And it's like, well, let's talk about his super yacht. It's like, what the fuck, man? How about, you guessed it, he also has 100 cars that are white. He also has another 50 that are black. Black cars and white cars, all he buys. Look at this. And just look at this one right here, 7 million, this one car. And yeah, you heard me right. He has 100 of them. You're like, oh my God. Let's get into his jewelry. Let's get into his jewelry. People around him should be telling him to stop. Yeah. So here's how that would go. Listen, man, I gotta say something about this. Floyd, you need to rein in your spending. He's like, I agree, you're fired. I agree. Everyone around him is on his payroll. Every single person around him is on his payroll. You know, hang on for 1 second. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, like, what's his partner's name? The president of his company that's like got the wait, is it Al Heyman? I think it's Al Heyman, right? Oh no, I'm sorry, not Al Heyman. I'm sorry, Leonard Ellerby. So Ellerby, bet your fucking life, bet your life that dude has made a tiny percentage of what Floyd Mayweather has made throughout this process. Also bet your life that his net worth will be some astronomical number in 15 years after Floyd has filed bankruptcy. You know, it's like I'm actually not joking. Check this out, dude. Floyd Mayweather's jewelry collection looks like it's, you remember the show Hoarders? Like, remember Hoarders, where you would walk into someone's house and be like, what the fuck? Like, what is this, dude? Like, what is this? Is a person with a like some kind of issue. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously the hoarders are, but I look at Floyd's jewelry collection, and that's what I see. I just see it's like the same thing to me. It's like, you know, oh wow, it's a shiny hoarder. Like it's a shiny hoarder. Like this makes no sense, dude. Like this makes no sense. It's like, how could you possibly? I don't even understand how you could. I don't even understand how you could be like, hey, I think I'm gonna go jewelry shopping. Like, haven't you figured out that like it clearly doesn't make you happy if you feel like you need to buy more and more and more and more and more, to the point? I mean, it's like, I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is just like one video of some of his stuff. Like, this doesn't look baller to me. This looks like you're a crazy person. You got like 25 of the same watch. And you know for sure this does not represent his entire jewelry collection by a long shot. Dude, and if you're gonna have this in your videos, you better pay the fucking money you owe to people, dude. I mean, it's ridiculous, dude. It's absurd. It's absurd. Okay, sneakerheads. I mean, that's funny actually that you brought that up because I definitely have I have a shoe problem for sure. But shoes don't cost 50 million. You know, like I could own every single pair of Air Jordan retro Jordans in every color, and still, you know, you're like, geez, how much did you spend on that? You're like, 30 grand. You know, and people be like, Jesus, bro, what are you doing? It's like, yeah, but if you're wealthy, 30 grand is not that much money, dude. It's a whole different ballgame from, hey, how much did that watch cost? He's like, 750,000. And you're like, and how many of them do you have? 5. Just that one. I just got it in every different color. You're all, how much is this Cuban links chain? Oh, that right there is about 175,000. And you're like, you seem to have like 30 of them. Mm-hmm. That's correct. I do. Why? Why? Yeah. Why would he? What's up?
Can we go and get the trampoline wet with swimsuits on?
Absolutely not. I mean, I don't. No.
Can we spray each other?
I'm leaving. I'm leaving in 6 minutes. You're going to be by yourself with Nana, so you have to ask her.
And Pops.
No, Pops is taking me. Pops is going to the airport. He's dropping me off at the car dealership.
Nana can watch us.
So ask Nana then. I would. Anywho, yeah, 18 million for a watch. Ooh, yeah. I mean, I can respect a sneakerhead. You're like, what sneakers are you wearing right now, Jesse? Those. Anyway, I mean, listen, dude. Conceive, believe, achieve. Thank you, Yasser Khan. I mean, the bottom line, dude, is like actual wealthy people, like for real, you know, like billionaire wealthy people. They don't spend money like that, dude. Like rolling around with like all that flash would be like they'd be embarrassed. They'd be embarrassed. That is the most infuriating thing when they do that. When they come in here and then they leave the door open, I'll strangle these kids. But Floyd's definitely not broke. Why not? How is Floyd not broke? I mean, he's not broke yet. He's got a lot of assets, but he's got a problem with not paying people money. He just got sued by some jeweler also that he didn't pay. I mean, it's just like, I'm serious. Like if you like literally just go on YouTube and go like watch a couple of the Floyd Mayweather luxurious lifestyle videos. And if you watch that and you think that there is not a day where Floyd Mayweather files bankruptcy, then what you should comment that. Except you can either comment that or comment, I don't know shit about money. Like I don't know about money. Because it is the most inevitable bankruptcy in the fucking history of the world. Inevitable. You know? And also in addition to all like the 200 cars and all this other stuff that smart people with money don't do, he also has a gambling problem, dude. He also bets $200,000 on like a Tuesday night Washington State versus Oregon game. You know? Like there's a reason why that anyway. Oh, I have ADHD as well. But like, yeah, my camera quality is bad because I'm live. I mean, it might be like, he might not go bankrupt for a while. But you understand, he fought this year. There's going to be a day where he cannot fight anymore. Like, you understand that? Like, he just fought. Okay. There will be a day when you cannot sell a Floyd Mayweather fight. He's 44. Like, that day is very close, right? All it takes is him losing once, which will happen, because how else is he going to make? I mean, okay. At a certain point, he's going to lose, or he's going to stop being able to fight. And inside 4 years, he does have a lot of real estate. Very, very huge fucking houses. Like, he's got tons of properties. But what my point is, and that's true, it's possible. There is a possibility. Okay, so here's how he could potentially never go broke, right? Would be when the ride stops, where he can't bring in liquid money anymore to support all this shit. Because having those properties and everything, the tax on all it, dude, is, oh my God, it's so expensive, dude. At a certain point, when he goes and he starts selling things, right? Like, when he starts selling things, if at that point he goes, okay, the ride's over, I'm going to sell these things, pay off the tax I owe, I'm going to pay off these creditors, I'm going to do this. Now I'll have, I mean, he could easily at the end of that come out with $40 million. Easily. And if at that point he can go, okay, I have $40 million, I'm going to give it to a money manager, I'm going to follow his instructions, I'm not going to spend money like I used to, then yeah, he'll be fine. $40 million is plenty of money to be wealthy. If he spends money like he does now, he will be broke inside of 3 to 4 years from his last fight. Absolutely 100% for sure. Bet your fucking life on it. And the fact that he hasn't paid Logan Paul is not a good sign for his financial state right now. I've been saying this literally for years. Anyway, I got to run though, because I need to try to go bankrupt by buying myself a car that I don't want. All right. I got to run. Later, guys. Peace.